see that as really very dishonorable, but
Pragmatic.
pragmatic. He's he might be the last of his martial arts tradition because they're small. Um, but yeah, I think we see him after this battle. He doesn't know whether the Iron Bell came to pick up
Sure.
the captives of his village or not. He escaped after the battle, got on his raft, and shoved off down the river.
Sounds good. Oh, and hey, that's a great point, by the way. I didn't mention this before. Super important knowledge that everybody has. There are 6 rivers that major rivers that converge all, let's call it inwards, and they radiate out from a single source called the headwater. The Iron Bell, everyone knows, is up where the rivers converge, up at the head. That's where they're from. Nobody's ever you've never heard of anybody who's actually seen it, except for maybe some liars who say they have. But far away, you know that's where the tributes go. They all go upriver, and downriver is all the dangerous stuff where there's no more. There's the people aren't really. It's mostly animals and dangerous stuff. So you probably got on a river like that, or at least a tributary to it, and are going somewhere. Maybe you don't know where.
Yeah, I think he's just looking for another town,
Yeah.
a place where he can find work and feed himself or do whatever.
Okay, and in the intro document, it's like it's 2 pages full of text, not too long, but to give y'all listeners and those of you who haven't seen it yet, just to give you a sense of that. After some war, when you are out in the jungle, it's super dangerous. People don't stay there. And typically what you're going to find are things trying to kill you, like just to eat you, animals or whatever. You might find other refugees. You have no idea if you can trust them or not. What's that?
Who might want to eat you.
Who might want to eat you, right? It's a brutal survival situation. And although you might find a small band of children who need help and you can tend to them or something. You also might find a small band of children who will prey on you. You also might find a small town who will take you in because they need someone else to help them defend.
Of children.
That's right. Or you might find, some ruins and you could be the first squatter in this town that looks like it was burned down 2-3 years ago and nobody's around. There's no telling what that kind of thing, but those are the kinds of things you would expect could await you there. Diamondback sounds like he's in a position to feel confident that he could take on a random stranger. But, he would also be wary of coming across a town that just is like, hey, free slave.
Yeah, he's very mindful. He would be very mindful of the odds in any given encounter and would be quite willing to peace out.
Cool.
In the event that it looks like it won't go his way.
All right. That sounds great. Tell me real quickly, what's his deepest wish for the future? If you know it. You don't have to yet.
I haven't gotten that far.
Okay, not a big deal. If you think of some, eventually you should all tell me these things offline at least, so that I can play with your, interact with your character's motivations. But Dwight, do you have any?
Well, I can just pull straight from martial arts tradition. We'll say that his deepest wish for the future is that he would like to start his own dojo.
Sure. And
train up the next generation of snake style martial arts fighters and ensure that the techniques that he thinks that perhaps he's the only one who currently knows and remembers will be transmitted through time.
I just want to, right now on the record, on the stream, reserve the rights for the spin-off movie called Diamondback, Cajun Dojo.
Yes, I am definitely thinking that's what I've got. Cajun Dojo.
That's right.
Exactly. Look at that Creole squat he just did.
We are vibing.
That's right.
Wow.
Did you hear what he just said? I guarantee. Let's get together.
Man.
This is great. Matt, the other character that I wanted to make was a tiefling from the Bayou. So the fact that he's going to get to come from that same world is fantastic.
All right.
So
That's great. Any of the four of you guys, I had heard a little bit about their characters from them before, so I felt, comfortable putting them on the spot. You don't need to have any ideas for them yet, but if you would like to, if you have anything you'd like to share.
I do.
Okay, Jacob.
So
This is one of the two characters. These are your guys right there.
this will be the Chosen Order one, the one that's like more fleshed out and stuff. His name is Percival Mistlight, and he is a bartender.
Nice.
He is in between two...
Percival Mistlight.
That's his nickname, by the way. He is in between two different towns. One is a slave town, and the other is an orcish town that owns the slave town.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and he has like a little bar in between so that whenever tribute day comes, he gets a lot of customers. It's one of those things.
So he's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, living on his own anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got he doesn't have like a family, but he has a dog. So
Sure.
Same basic thing.
Yeah.
And his entire deal is he just wants to make a good establishment and stuff like that.
So he's left home now. I don't know if you knew that already.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
He had an establishment, and one of the things that he prized himself on is he could actually speak Orcish. So he would...
And he's not an orc?
He's not an orc. He's half-elf, I think, if that's allowed.
You can't have any elf.
Okay, well, I'll fix that.
Yeah, whatever.
He'll be a human or something.
Yeah.
So he's a human, and he can actually speak Orcish, so he uses that to make, like, Orcish menus just scratched out everywhere. Apparently, when the Iron Bell came along one time, down the path, they went in and saw all of this writing on the menus and everywhere. Yeah.
Illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had kind of a speakeasy, kind of an illegal bar that just the two towns used.
Yeah. And when they went in, they just classified the entire building as one just ginormous book, and they torched it.
Okay.
But
he escaped with his life, or maybe he wasn't home.
Yeah, he escaped with his life. He had like a patio on the top or something, and he saw the tribute bells coming, and he knew it would not be good to be caught up in that. So he just packed his stuff and ran.
And what kind of biome?
Casablanca scene changed.
That's right. and what kind of forest or swamp or bayou or it could be jungle, or it could be... where is he from?
He himself, his bar was in an oak forest.
Okay.
And...
Like in a tree?
No, like in an oak forest kind of area. Mm-hmm. The orc town was in a really thick... that actually did have tree houses. Okay. And the slave area was just like...
All part of that same oak forest.
Yeah. Okay. It's like degrading downwards from thick trees to thin birch trees, and he's like set in the middle.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I like that. So he's kind of where that whole situation was where one type of forest was kind of blending into another. He's on the edge of that oak forest. The orcs have a big, heavy presence for them, a couple hundred people in their town. Yeah. But they totally dominate the other town. Now, who's in the other town? What kind of people live there?
They're mostly just like gnomes and a few humans, but the general population is just random misfits.
But they're just kept as slaves.
Yeah.
For taking a time of tribute.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense. That's
yeah.
All right. Great. I mean, terrible, but good story. All right. Yeah. I like that. And do you happen to know like what class you prefer, or?
He's gonna be a sorcerer, but he's not a sorcerer yet. So, should I say like what my plan is for that, or what?
Let's let that unfold.
Yeah.
And you tell me, and we can work that out. But it'll be fun for everybody to listen to that. That's good. Yeah. I like that. Which that's the guy who is set order.
He's gonna be the one below that.
Okay.
Right there.
The one I wrote on. Yeah. Okay. Great. And you're gonna keep this order. So he's very charismatic.
Yeah,
15. Okay, I see that. And he's also wise. Like, he knows how to handle himself.
I might actually switch the Constitution with Wisdom, or Constitution with Strength, or something.
Well,
I don't
we'll
know.
we'll
He's a
figure that out.
bartender, so obviously
That sounds great.
he's had a couple of drinks.
Yeah. And it sounds like if he had, his own place, like his own, that somehow wasn't being attacked by the orcs. We'll figure that out.
He was charismatic, so
He was what?
he was very charismatic.
He's very
so-
charismatic. Somehow that's happening. So, he had a little more resources than most people. He was not poor.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Jared, Aaron, or Dwight? Nothing yet?
Nope.
Yeah, no worries.
My second guy there, Namey McNameface.
So he's Scottish.
Yeah. No. My idea with him was that he, the world's all very magical, but he is not. I mean, he is as magical as everyone is, but he most like.
That's not how he works.
Yeah, he's kind of an outcast. People make fun of him because he'll go and pick things up instead of
Yeah, right. Instead of using a shortcut.
telekinesis or whatever.
That's interesting because he's not dumb. Like, it's not because he can't.
Yeah.
He's got 12 intelligence and 13 wisdom,
Yeah.
which are the two stats for magic.
Yeah, but he leans on his strength.
Yeah. And he's got a 14 strength, and he's the one with an 18 constitution. That guy is just...
So he's like a tank
a
in
wall
a
of
place
meat.
where tanking is not
That's right.
particularly useful.
That's great. I like that. All right. Name him McNameface. I'm just kidding. That sounds good. And so he's still going to be a magic class because he's going to have some amount of proficiency just because it's necessary. But I'd be interested to see how you want to pick that. And we can talk about how to play that where he's, he could be like that Tennessee Ernie Ford song, Big John. You don't say much, just quiet and shy. But everybody...
He's definitely not going to say much.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. That's really good.
So I know what I want to do for my second character. Are we doing that as well?
Yeah, do it.
Like short version. So Sleen is a female tiefling.
Spell that for me.
Sleen. Sleen.
Okay.
So Sleen is devastatingly, impossibly hot. I mean, she is just
charisma.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. She looks into people's eyes and gets what she wants, but she's kind and good-hearted, a little bit of a bad girl, a little bit of an outsider, think kind of Dog the Bounty Hunter vibe, because she is a gator wrangler by profession. And so, in the bayou, if you've got a problem with snakes or gators or
Pest control.
but specifically like reptiles, like the really dangerous ones, the really venomous snakes, the really big gators, the really ornery swamp apes or razorbacks or whatever, you name it. And
tiefling are relatively rare in this world. There's not none, but it's rare, and also it's really unusual for a tiefling to have high charisma because their whole thing is that they have a bit of magic power. For those of you who don't know, because they made a sort of Faustian deal with some kind of supernatural being who has given them also a curse, and so they have this mark on them, which is their form, which is they have these kind of like flesh horns and some stuff, tail, and they don't like that in the classic D&D. We don't actually have to do ours that way, but in classic D&D they don't like that very much. So they're conscious about that. So it's really interesting to have a super charismatic tiefling.
Yeah, and she's strong. Like, she's built. She's stronger than the average strong man walking around on the street. Mm-hmm. But she walks just a little bit stilted, and you see that she's got wooden legs below the knee for each leg. So she's got a dexterity of 9.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and a wisdom of 14. So she's all.
Uh-oh.
We lose everybody?
Let's find out. We're still streaming. Let's see what there is to see.
Well, we got the majority of people here, so it...
Everybody important still on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anybody. Hi, everybody. I will cut this from the podcast part. Oh, wait. Here's Joshua. Matt.
And they're all back.
I wonder if we had a server error on the maybe Jitsi side.
Maybe the stream is. Yeah, it's there.
Nope.
Oh, now we're down to just M.
Okay.
Hey,
Hello?
Hey.
Hi.
I think everybody got kicked except for everybody.
Yeah, it said that I was the only one in the meeting. I
Same
never
for
got
us.
kicked.
And that's on the stream. It's just Josh and us.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is actually a great time for us to take our 10-minute break.
You hear me?
I can hear you, Matt.
I seem to have gotten dropped from the Jitsi room.
Yeah, everybody did. We all had to reconnect.
So we were just about to take a break.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock, so it's good time for our 10-minute intermission. So I'm going to go ahead and stream that right now while you all can't hear me. There we go.